This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
Many of you know I grew up a frothing at the mouth conservative, evangelical, Christian nationalist. So if you grew up in a similar upbringing, you know that there are Christian prophets, that is something that's just out there. People who prophesy, and they have a bat phone to Jesus on their desk. What's that, Lord? Oh, yep, I'll tell the people. And since Donald Trump came around, we now have political prophets as well, who model themselves after the Christian archetype. Mike Lindell fancies himself one of these individuals. CPAC was this last weekend, which is a gathering of conservative goofs and ghouls alike who are worshiping at the feet and the throne of Donald Trump, their dear leader, who they still believe won the 2020 election, en masse believing a pernicious anti-democratic conspiracy theory. And Mike Lindell has been at the tip of this conspiracy push, the tip of the spear of this conspiracy push, being prophetic in the mannerisms, in the cadence of his voice, in the sheer volume of predictions that have invariably fallen flat. And he made another prediction. I have a list of his predictions from 2021 right here in my hot little hands. And before we play them, though, I want to play this clip of him giving yet another prediction for this very month, August 2022. That Donald Trump, there's going to be something that is going to be earth-shattering. I don't remember the exact language. Let's watch it together and talk about it on the other side, as well as his predictions from the previous year.
I'm telling you, after the 20th and the 21st of August, the aftermath of that, you're gonna see the biggest change this country has ever seen, and you're gonna also see judges. I said this before. Everyone says, well, Mike, what do you mean the judges? You go back a year and a half. Not one judge looked at evidence except for Antrim County, Michigan, but he didn't want to rule on it. And those judges back then, they have families, they have neighbors, they have grandchildren. They were afraid. I'm telling you, they were afraid. But a year and a half later, after everyone's seeing the destruction of our country, what has slowed that destruction have been the judges. How about those 100? If you have 100 people in your company, you have to take a shot and become a junkie. The judges stopped that, okay? How about the judge in Florida that made the great ruling about the mask mandates on airplane? Changed our history. How about Roe v. Wade, huh? How about that?
How about Roe v. Wade, yeah? Oh, yeah, how about that there, yeah? Also, the little crack about if you have more than 100 employees in your company, you have to have a shot and become a junkie. Apparently, Mike Lindell thinks if you get a vaccine, you become addicted to the vaccine, and then he uses disparaging language for people who have a substance use disorder. Vile and sinister character in American history, but also a political prophet of sorts. So the language there he used, I wrote it down as he said it, August 20th and 21st, you're going to see the biggest change this country has ever seen. Now, of course, just like a Christian prophet with the bat phone to Jesus, very vague, real short on details. Doesn't give us any indication what he's talking about, just that it's the biggest change. It's pretty big, some big stuff there he's talking about. Here are a few predictions from 2021 from Mike Lindell, the My Pillow Goof. March 26, 2021, here's a quote. All the evidence I have, everything is going to go before the Supreme Court, and the election of 2020 is going bye-bye. Donald Trump will be back in office in August. March 30th, 4 days later, I said Donald Trump will be in the White House in August. I fully believe that myself, he'll be back in. May 25th, 2021, Donald Trump will be back in by the end of August, June 2nd. These are facts. We have a clear path to pull this election down on the Supreme Court. It'll be 9-0, the verdict from the Supreme Court, he says. Down comes the election, and in August, here comes Donald Trump. June 5th, 2021, talking about the August prediction. I could be off by a month or so, I don't know. Starting to waffle, starting to waver. July 4th, Independence Day here in the United States. By the morning of August 13th, it'll be the talk of the world. Going, hurry up. Let's get this election pulled down, excuse me. Let's get these communists out, you know, who have taken over. August 21st now, here we go. It's Trump 2021, 100% Trump 2021. This election, when it does get pulled down, there were so many down ticket races affected, maybe the Supreme Court, they'll just do a whole new election. You know how it works, it's a new election. September 21st. Now, post-August, Donald Trump still not president. Weird. How strange. Quote, I made a promise to this country that with all the evidence I have, that we would get it to the Supreme Court. And I predicted they would vote 9-0 to look at the evidence. Originally, I had hoped for August and September. Well, you originally hoped for August there, Mikey boy. Not August and September. August. Remember, the political prophet of our time. We will have this before the Supreme Court, before Thanksgiving now. Now it's before Thanksgiving. That's my promise to the people of this country. His promise. This mighty man of God giving his word, swearing and affirming an oath to the country. His promise. He wouldn't be bearing false witness, would he? He wouldn't be breaking one of the 10 commandments, would he? No, not Mike Lindell. Not the lover of Jesus. September 24th, we're giving everything, all the evidence I have to the Supreme Court. That will be done before Thanksgiving. That's in stone. November 7th now, the Supreme Court is going to accept it 9-0. It will require a new election across the board. They'll declare the 2020 vote void and order new elections across the board. These are quotes from Mike Lindell. Two more. November 17th now, approaching the end of the year, 2021. Remember, Donald Trump was supposed to be president back in August of 2021, according to Mike Lindell. 1 week from today, on November 23rd, the states are suing the United States government at the Supreme Court. It's over, he says. And December 17th, on the timeline for the long-promised 9-0 Supreme Court case, he says, it was gonna be today. It's switched out till Monday. He's a liar, folks. This isn't just the machinations of someone who truly believes what he thinks he's saying, or what he's saying. This is someone who is a liar. Either that, or he is institutionalized. He's delusional to the point that he needs to be put away. He's working against the interest of every single one of you who voted for Joe Biden. He wants to disenfranchise you systemically. He wants to take away your vote. He doesn't want to recount in Texas or in Idaho or Oklahoma, Mississippi. He wants a recount in Arizona and Wisconsin and Georgia and Pennsylvania and Michigan. He wants only the states that Donald Trump lost, their votes to be meddled with. This is anti-democracy in action, mixed with some strange religious jargon, making these weird prophetic predictions that just like prophets, modern day prophets in the church, I use the term loosely, they don't come true because they're liars and they're grifters. And Mike Lindell, as much as he wears his cross on the outside of his shirts and talks the talk, he worships at one throne. He worships one God, and that's Donald Trump. There is no theology based around what he says other than the ego, the massive, needing, stroked ego of Donald John Trump, his dear leader. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think about this. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. I would love to hear from you. Absolutely. You can follow me on social media. I am @Dollemore on Twitter, @Dollemore on TikTok, and @Dollemore on the Instagram. If I do something for you, if you appreciate what I do, if I bring you some value, please consider supporting what I do right here on the channel. You can click the join button, become a channel member, or click the join button, just see what's involved in becoming a channel member. For as little as $1.99 a month, just pennies a day, you can help support what I do and take part in the mission of this program. You can also go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt which is not just for the podcast, which you also should be subscribed to. My twice weekly political analysis podcast talking about the headlines with my lovely, talented, and scholarly co-host, Brittany Page. You can go to patreon.com/IDoubtIt and help support what we do right here. Anyway, I love you guys. I appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.